Hi, everybody. Today we're going to finish the passages from my book, Transforming Suffering into Wisdom, on the first intention. There are three intentions, if you recall, that we're going to be addressing throughout the book that lead to this transformation. And each of them is a meditative practice in and of itself. The one we've been focusing on is the first intention of living in the present moment, really being right here, and moment by moment, and in a way replacing our constant and endless stories that take us into the past or into the future, all through time and space, really, with just being right here. It's a very different notion. In many ways, it's become my very favorite of all of the practices that we do. So I'll be sad to see this passage ending. Today's passage is called Moving On, quite appropriately, and we'll be moving on to the next intention tomorrow. So here we go. Moving on. As we become stronger at the first intention of living in the present moment, we awaken to and live in all our senses, even more than in our thoughts. We experience the texture and fragrance of life, rich, emotive, whole, complete, sparkling, crackling with energy and vitality. How things are, how they actually are, without the intermediation of thought or self. To experience this is part of the process of transforming suffering into wisdom. How else but by learning to be present can we see suffering for what it is? Tasting, touching, smelling, hearing, seeing, and all that come with them. To me, there is nothing richer and more pulsing, energizing, and alive than the experience of this intention. The other two intentions don't always present themselves. Pull the plug on the self? Well, the I thoughts that construct the self are not always there, not in every moment. And suffering, to be fearless and forgiving in the midst of suffering, is likewise not always there. Of the three intentions, to live in the present moment is the simplest to understand and the most universal. The present moment is always here. It is the foundation on which all the rest of our work will be based. So the final book, not my final book. Hopefully, I've got a number of others that are in the works. But the book that I completed a year or so ago, called A Golden Civilization. You can see it in the back there, next to the image of Saint Francis. A Golden Civilization and the Map of Mindfulness has a very significant portion of it dedicated to a new way of understanding this first intention, the present moment. One of the things that it argues, and after I finish reading this book, I may read passages from that book. One of the things that it argues is that the present moment is the only moment that we've ever known. And are ever experienced. The past and the future are constructs that come out of, they're mental constructs that come out of our experience right in the moment. So it's quite an extraordinary thing to take on kind of reality by insisting for ourselves on meeting each moment just as it arises and just as it passes away. It's an impossible thing to do in many ways because the kind of the arc of time. It just keeps shifting so quickly that we're thrown naturally as thinking creatures back into our thoughts of ourselves, of the past, of the future. In the Golden Civilization, I construct something called a map of mindfulness, the map of mindfulness, where I reframe time and space so that rather than time and space being this huge construct of having a huge amount in the future and anticipated and projected and all, and an even more large amount in the past as we consider our history and everything like that. What I do is I reconstruct that image so that it's very clear that the present moment is what is real, what is powerful, and what everything else arrives from. If we live in the present moment, everything changes. Our understanding of the nature of the world, of our relationships with each other, of our relationship with the planet, all of that changes. We're still respectful of what is necessary, and particularly now in the coronavirus, we need to bring in the past and history to understand the coronavirus well, and we need to project accurately as we can, possible scenarios into the future. But what's most special during this time is for us to be right here with Mother Nature, with ourselves, and with each other. Thank you.